Welcome to Meliora's channel, your go-to place for C# and data analysis tutorials, products hands-on demos, and insider secrets to keep you at the cutting edge of innovation. Our goal is to break down complex tech topics to a level that you will easily understand to supercharge your skills. Without further ado, let's jump right in.
Welcome back. In today's lecture, we're going to be looking at the if and is functions in Microsoft Excel. Okay, so here we are in Excel, and we're going to first of all start with the basic if statement with its basic structure. So we're going to start by typing equals to, then if, and then we're going to open the parentheses. And you can see here we now can write our logical test, and we can see value if true and value if false. Now you can see that they're in square brackets. These are optional arguments, but for using the if function, you have to still put them in for the if function to work. So the logical test, let's check if this value here is less than 50. So put the less than sign and then 50. So that's the test. So we're checking if the value in B5, which is 56.8, is less than 50. So if it is less than 50, let's just allow it to return a logical true. And if it's not, then we just want a logical false. Okay? So this is a very simple basic structure of the if. So you have your logical test, what you are checking, and then if the value you want, if it's true or if it's false. It's going to press enter, and we're getting false because 56.8 is not less than 50. It's actually greater than 50. So that's just an example of the if. Now another statement apart from the basic if is the if error. So let me show an example. So we have a string value here. So let's divide that value by 3 to get an error. You can see we're getting the value error, inappropriate data types for the arithmetic operation. So we can't divide a string or text. So now we're getting that error. So what we can do is we can use the equal to if error to customize the message that we get. So let's again do the wrong division. And then if this amounts to an error, which it will, we can tell it to say something went wrong. Okay, so instead of getting the error itself, the if error is now going to customize the message so that we can see, okay, something went wrong. So this is a very, very useful if function for customizing errors, especially if we have a situation where we're using lookups. So if we have any, we can customize, say, value not in table or something of the sort. So that is the if and if error statement. So another way to extend the functionalities of the if function is to nest another function within it. In this case, I'm going to show you using the and or logical functions that we've seen in a previous video. So if you remember the introductory video for formulas and functions, the way nesting works is that the inner function will run to completion and give its value, which will then be used by the outer function. So here we have some values for A, some values for B, either just Boolean values, either true or false. And now we want to check if both A and B are true. So let's go ahead and write our if, open parentheses, and then within the logical test area, we are now going to write and. Our and, open parentheses, and then we now have a chance to check multiple logical statements. So the first one, let's check if A is equal to true. And then we'll also check if B is equal to true. and then close the parentheses. So that is our AND function now within the logical test area of our if. So this is going to run to completion and either present a true or false, if you remember the video. And now we can now customize. So if we get a true, we want to return a text saying both A and B are true. But if we get a false, then we want to return and say both A and B are not true. Okay, so let's go ahead and press enter. And what we have here is both A and B are true, because this will evaluate to a true because A and B are true. And let's go ahead and fill this down. And we can see now we have both A and B are not true, both A and B are not true, because here they are both false, here B is false, and then here A is false. So that is the if and. So the and will run to a completion. I give a true or false. As you can see, if highlighted here, it's giving it true. And then since it's giving it true, the if function will return the value we've put in for if true. Okay, if or is exactly the same principle. So if, and then we are now going to write our or function within the logical test area. Logical 1, we want to check if this is equal to true or B is equal to true. Close our parentheses. So if A or B is true, then we want to say either A, or not even need for either, just A or B is true. Okay, and then here we're just going to write neither A nor B is true. Okay, so the OR checks if either A or B is true, so it's going to always return true provided one of them is true, and it's going to return a false if neither of them is true. So there we have A or B is true, and then let's just fill that formula down. So we can see the difference. So A or B is true, and that is true because here both of them are true. Here B is true and here A is true, but at the last place where they are both false, neither are true. So that is just an example of how to nest some logical functions and or into your if statements and how they extend the functionality. Okay, so here we are with the is function. So this is also very straightforward, and it also returns a Boolean true or false depending on whether it evaluates to a true or a false. It's very simple. So these are some examples. These are examples of values here, and I'm going to show you the kind of is functions that we can use to test. So let's check if this value in A2 is a number. So very simple, we have is number value, which is A2, close parentheses, enter, and we get true because this is in fact a number. If we want to check if something is a text, we have the is text, and that's also a true. We have the is error, and that's true because this is a value error I did by dividing a string by a number. And then we can see we have a Boolean value true here, so we can actually check is logical to check if it's a Boolean value, which it is, which is why we're getting true. And you can see we have 1 and 4 here, and you know we have the is number, but we also have is odd. Number is 1, so we get it true because 1 is an odd number. We also have is even. Now 4 and that's going to return true because 4 is an even number. We also have is blank. Check if a cell is blank, which is true because there's no value there. And then we also now have is formula. Pardon. And that returns a true because in fact we do have a formula there, which is 46 divided by 4, which is 11.5, and which is why the is formula is returning true. So the is a wide range, and you can use it to check various different things, and its return is a boolean true or false. And that brings us to the end of this lecture. See you in the next one.
Thank you for watching, and if you learned something new or enjoyed this video, be sure to show us support by clicking like and subscribe. Your support helps us to bring you even better content, so stay tuned for the next exciting video. You can also click the link below to see other free and paid videos on other exciting topics. If the click did not work, kindly copy the link and paste on your browser. Thank you, and see you in the next video.